Hey there, I am with my friend and client, Shannon Shoemaker, and I am excited to talk to you today, Shannon, about your experiences working with me, what it was like when you first came to me, and where your health status is now, and how you're feeling kind of about your life. I just want to chat about things. So,
Okay.
how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
I'm thrilled to have you here. So I guess where I'd like to start is where you view your health status to have been and your mindset when you first came to me in November of 2016.
Total 180. When I came to you, I was at wit's end. I just wanted to change everything. I wanted to get rid of my belly fat. I wanted to feel better. I wanted the headaches to go away, the brain fog to go away. I had my doubts because I had tried different things before and failed. And you were my last ditch effort. So I was like, I'll give it one more try and see where it goes. And it has been phenomenal. So
okay, so talk just a little bit about your actual health status as well versus just kind of the extra weight that you felt like you were carrying.
My type 2 diabetes was out of control. My diabetic doctor was wanting me to go on insulin at that time, and I just really did not want to go down that path. I wanted to get off of what I was on. I had tried low-fat, sugar substitute diets and wasn't making any progress, and just needed someone. I knew there was a better answer out there, and that's what I was searching for. And I just wanted to feel good. I'm a new grandma, and I want to give my grandkids the best life I can give them.
That's awesome.
So,
now, you also had some thyroid issues as well, right?
I had, I'm hypothyroidism, and then through additional testing found out I had Hashimoto's. And that's been a game changer getting that under control. So.
And then we also uncovered some GI issues as well.
Yes.
Right.
I was diagnosed with SIBO.
Okay.
Didn't even have a clue what that was. So, and to get that under control has really made a big difference too.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. So kind of juxtapose, let's go from November of last year to today. How would you describe your health status, your body composition, your mindset? What have you seen change in your life?
Just the mindset and really finding my true self has been the hardest part. Changing the mindset,
Describe that a little bit.
Well, going from survival mode to enjoyment mode, being fully engaged. That's been the biggest thing. So just having my own confidence, gaining my own confidence, because I was not confident that I could do it.
Right.
And as the weeks started going by and I started seeing results, the confidence started building, and it just became an amazing journey.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I can say from, the other side of the aisle watching you, I have never seen such a 180 as you described it in terms of the mindset. You got very quick results in terms of the weight loss and inches lost and that kind of thing. But I would say that was the least of the benefits. I mean, honestly, when you came to me, you were in a pretty negative headspace and kind of pre-defeated. Like, okay, how's this not going to work? Right. And oh my gosh, I've never seen somebody jump in so quickly and embrace, okay, you know what? This is my responsibility. These are some healthy boundaries that I can start setting with people in my life that is a win-win for everyone.
Right.
And you just took off with this stuff.
I just decided it had to be. Go after what you really, really want. I'd wanted this for 15 years, and it had been, okay, I need to, when am I, I need to get the weight off. That was my biggest thing. Not understanding the emotional baggage that I was carrying,
Yeah.
the mental crap in the mental closet that needed to be cleaned out, just to be that healthy person from the inside.
Right.
And that's been the biggest joy of the journey, is exposing that and being okay with who I am.
That's awesome. Well, and I'd be curious your take on it. What, from my perspective, I feel like that mindset shift of maybe learning to take a deep breath about this, having a little more patience with the journey, and feeling more like you're in the driver's seat of your life and health. I feel like that's made this process maybe a little easier to stick with. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
It's changed. I just put my mindset that I'm going to do this. I have to, for me, I have to prove to myself that I can do this. I want this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this.
That's awesome.
And there's power in the pause, huge power in the pause. Because, when you've got that whatever looking at you that you're craving, just to stop and think, okay, do I want to eat that for temporary satisfaction, or do I want to not eat that and feel like I've conquered it? And that's kind of the battle that I put myself in, is no, I want to win over that cookie or over that sundae or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I've seen, is that you've really embraced, we talk about that every choice is a chance to start building momentum, building integrity with our deeper selves, building that relationship with ourselves. And I've seen you really own that, each individual choice, and sometimes you do choose to indulge, right?
Right.
But you do it from an empowered way, right?
The war is on. I lost battles and I've won a lot of battles. But the thing is to keep progressing forward and just every choice, do your best.
Right.
So
I love that.
That's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah. Well, you've done it. Obviously there's a lot of external proof just in terms of the weight loss and the measurements, but I would also say in terms of, your blood sugar.
Yes. I've managed to get off almost all of my meds. I'm on just the one pre-diabetic med, and I'm weaning off of it right now. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That's a miracle in itself in my book. So
that's a big deal. So I'm curious how you feel like this kind of coaching journey has been different for you than other plans or programs that you've done in the past, in terms of, were you hungry? Did you feel like you had to exercise all the time? Did you feel like we just focused on calories, or, did we, other things?
The programs in the past were negative mindset, meaning more of a, you can't have that. You can't have that. You've got to stay away from that. It was more of a depriving myself versus looking at it as a healthy choice versus a not so healthy choice. It was looked at as depriving myself. And when's this going to be over? When is this, when I get that weight off, I'm going to be done. And then I can go back.
Right.
And that's the wrong mindset to have.
Right.
Just make healthy choices. You can have healthy things that taste really good and are satiating, and not the junk and not the side effects of it.
Yeah. So have you been hungry?
No. If I am, first of all, I stop myself and say, am I hungry, or am I bored, or am I, what's going on? What's going on in here? If I'm really physically hungry, if protein sounds good, vegetables sound good, then I'm hungry.
Awesome.
But if it's, I just really want a piece of chocolate, I'll have a little tiny piece of chocolate, just to get that out of my system. But
that makes you a bad person, but that's
that makes me human.
I never eat chocolate.
Human.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about choices.
Yeah.
So.
And again, I feel like one of the things that I have tried to emphasize that you embraced very early on is that, what are we even doing this for?
Right.
Right? What is the point? Is the point to be a good dieter? To be the perfect follower of someone else's plan? Or is the goal to create a plan for Shannon, for Lisa,
Right.
that we can follow and kind of work within, kind of some, general guidelines, some bumper rails that we can work within for the rest of our life. So, like we were talking before we started recording, when you came in, if I had told you, well, personally, I like to eat, sardines and leeks for breakfast. So that's what you should eat.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work for me.
Right. So,
or I like blueberries, scrambled eggs. So
you do like blueberries? Okay, we'll talk about that after we're done recording. That's interesting. I got to know more about that one. I haven't heard that before.
Right. Whatever.
Yeah. So the fact that you really have kind of taken this ball and run with it. I gave you some general guidelines. These are the foods that are going to be nutrient dense, that are going to fill you up, that are not going to trigger Hashimoto's thyroiditis,
Right.
that aren't going to contribute to SIBO,
Or blood sugar spikes.
or blood sugar spikes, that are going to give you energy and satisfaction. And within that template, you began to find recipes and foods that Shannon likes.
Right. And I'm not huge on cooking
Yeah.
really complex meals.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and that's okay. I mean, you can have simple or you can have complex. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all out there
Right.
from every
So true.
realm. So
Yep.
and as long as it tastes good to me and it's filling to me and it's within my guidelines of what I've set on myself,
Right.
I'm all over
Right.
it.
I'd love for you, as we've talked about all along, you eat out socially more than anyone that I've ever worked with. And I feel like you, from the very beginning, really made that work. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I get so many questions about how to eat socially, whether it's people at our house, going to someone else's house, whether it's at a restaurant. How have you made that work?
Just I stay away from carbs. Like the breads, of course, in restaurants are not, they're not gluten free, so they're not going, it's not gonna, I judge what I'm gonna eat by how I'm gonna feel, how I know I'm gonna feel the next day.
Oh, I like
So,
that. Now, when you say you stay away from carbs, do you mean that you stay away even from potatoes?
No.
Okay.
What I'm, breads and pastas
Okay.
and
Okay.
that.
Like gluten.
Right.
Carb. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So if we go to a hamburger place, it's not, I try to make the healthiest choice
Sure.
there is for the menu that I'm
Right.
given. I'll order the hamburger patty without the bun.
Mm-hmm.
I'll, eat a few fries as long as they're not coated in something that makes them crispier.
Right.
But a hamburger patty or even 2 hamburger patties and a side salad.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pack my own dressing in my purse and take it.
You're that weirdo.
I am that
I love
weirdo.
it. That's
but
awesome.
if I forget it or I don't
Yeah.
have it or it's last minute, I'll eat their dressing. But
Right.
I dip my fork in the dressing. I keep it off to the side, and that way I'm not
Right.
eating that much of
Right.
it because it does cause inflammation.
Right.
So,
But you're not freaking out
No.
if something that's not blessed by an angel touches your lips, right? As long as
No.
it's not gluten or dairy,
Right.
maybe that are kind of the bigger
Right.
triggers for you.
right,
You're not gonna.
No, there's no,
Okay.
life goes on.
Right.
So, and I feel so much better getting all the inflammatory foods out of my system
Mm-hmm.
that, a little bit's not going to kill me.
Yeah.
But
Again, we talk about building that resilience.
yeah,
Right?
Right.
We want to kind of build up that health bank account, and then we want to spend it
mm-hmm.
a little bit sometimes. Maybe we have a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah,
Maybe we have some gluten-free treats
right,
once in a while. And once you have health to like where you are with your blood sugar management and SIBO under control and your Hashimoto's not flaring,
right. It's okay.
right? You've got a little bit of margin.
And if I
So.
know Friday night's a big night out with friends or
Mhm.
something, and we're going to have wine
Right.
and go out to a nice restaurant,
Mhm.
then I really, kind of prepare 4 or 5 days in advance for that and watch what I eat and just kind of put that in my bank account so I know
Mhm.
Friday night there's no guilt.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
okay.
Good.
Saturday morning we're back at it.
Right.
That's
Right.
where I allow it, but
Mhm.
it's a temporary allowance, and then you're back at it.
Right.
Where I get into trouble is if I say, "Oh," and I milk that.
Right.
Well, it's Saturday morning, and I was stayed up late Friday night, so I'm going to go ahead, and then it leads to Saturday afternoon, and then no.
I have not seen that from you. Maybe since the beginning, though. I mean, that's been really fun and remarkable to see how quickly you have embraced the notion that I'm doing this for myself because I want to feel amazing. I'm not doing this to adhere to a strict plan for I'm not sure what reason.
Right.
Or just weight loss.
Right.
Right. And I love, you just got back from a family lake vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You had some gluten-free treats down there, right? I didn't sense any regret or self-shaming. Yeah, you said, okay, I want to get back to my routine and I want to, get back to yoga and all of the things, but I didn't sense any, that you were recriminating, self-recrimination or anything like that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. How liberating does that feel?
Very.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Because the old Shannon would indulge daily, and I've changed that mindset to indulge on special occasions or when I'm allowed, I've allowed myself to plan to, but then my default is gluten-free, healthy paleo eating. And
okay. So do you think that it's been helpful to stick to that way of eating because you have found such a variety of foods that you actually enjoy eating?
Yes.
Because I think that's where people's kind of BS meter goes off a little bit. They're like, oh my gosh, how disciplined is she? Right? No. And so I think I would love for you to talk a little bit about that. Like, do you enjoy your meals?
Yes.
Genuinely, not...
Yes.
Okay.
The first month, it takes a little bit for your palate to reset.
Okay.
Because
Thank
you're
you.
so...
Yes.
I was so hyper...
Used to hyper-palatable
Yes.
foods?
Yes. Sugar,
That's
especially.
true.
Sugar, chocolate, chips, all that.
Yeah.
So you take that away. When I took that away for that first month, I struggled.
Yeah.
Just till everything kind of reset. But I also...
Now, I have a question about that, though, because as I recall in the beginning, there were a lot more paleo treats and gluten-free treats that you brought in to kind of bridge that a little bit. Was that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
Very helpful.
That was helpful for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're feeling deprived. And
yeah.
I didn't want to feel deprived.
Right.
And
I mean, we know No, I didn't want you to feel deprived because we know where that white knuckling leads. Right? To being in the pantry at 2 a.m. mowing through
stale,
God only knows what,
stale donuts.
Exactly. Yeah, nothing good, but no, oh my gosh, we've all been there.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can slowly kind of reassure those fear centers in your brain that no, you're going to get food that's delicious and filling and satisfying, and you can eat a lot of food. I mean, I remember you saying in the beginning, I don't know if I can eat this much food.
Yeah, I can't eat enough vegetables.
Yeah.
I mean, for what I can have, I mean, when I say can, meaning, my calorie count that I try to kind of stick to, I can't eat enough vegetables.
Right.
I mean.
Now, I want to drill into that a little bit because I think when people hear you say, oh gosh, well, of course she is full because she's, grazing on, roughage all day. You make your vegetables taste good, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, how do you do that?
I roast them, sea salt, coconut oil, roast them.
Okay.
We grill vegetables. Different combinations cause different tastes that keep everything palatable.
And have you started eating vegetables that you didn't used to eat?
You had told me in the beginning, why don't you try one new vegetable a week and just try. And I thought, I hate vegetables.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like I crave them, which is weird.
It's a tough sell for other people. It's like, I don't say that too often just because it sounds like nonsense. But
it just, I value how I feel so much that's small in my life.
Right. So that leads me to, something I did want to focus on a little bit is how we've been able to keep this vision of this life that you want to create front and center when we're in the moment. Someone's in front of you with a, beautiful dessert. You're at a dinner or something like that. Like, how do you in the moment capture what you want most versus what you want right now, right? How do you keep that in your mind? Because that's where people get into trouble, right? That's where people, and when I say get into trouble, I don't, I just mean they have regrets about their choice later. They feel bad about it. I don't think if you make an empowered decision, own it. You're an adult, right? This isn't about, the food police are coming in.
Right.
Right.
And if I know it's laden with gluten,
oh yeah,
that's an easier choice because I know how it's going to make me feel. It was a hard time. I had a hard time convincing myself that connection, teaching myself that connection. But now that I've got that down, I don't want to feel bad. Yeah. I think about what I have planned for tomorrow. And I know if I don't feel my best, I'm not going to be able to be there for my grandkids.
Okay, that's huge. So that big why that we talk about, right? It's not just about weight loss.
No, it's about how I feel. I mean, my body's not perfect. It's perfect.
I mean, seriously, you're amazing.
Well, it's not about that anymore.
Yeah.
It was in the beginning, but now it's about how I feel and my health and just how engaged I can be in life and being the best version of myself that I can
That's
be.
Awesome. I want to circle back to one thing that you said. In the beginning, we did track, right? We did, do some MyFitnessPal and that kind of thing. But then we moved away from that, right? Not calorie counting. You're not doing actual calorie counting, right? Okay.
No.
I just wanted to clarify that.
No.
I didn't think you were. Okay.
No.
And the other thing that I wanted to touch on is how we've incorporated the exercise piece and how that has felt to you in terms of, does this feel doable? Does this crush me? Does this feel like a burden? How has that been?
I was the number one hater of exercise when I found you. And that was my biggest fear was I don't want to sweat. I don't want to hurt. I don't want boot camp. And that was a huge fear. And you introduced it to me in a way that was gentle yet pushed me in a healthy way, but made me feel like just let me experience how good I was going to feel after the fact when I started seeing some muscle form and that was exciting.
That was really fun.
I was shocked. I didn't think that this body could do that. And it didn't take much. It just doesn't take that much. Yeah. And you helped me realize that. I thought if I want a body that'll fit into little clothes that I had to be at the gym 5 hours a day.
Right.
And that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
And it still doesn't happen.
Right.
So, but I found things that I enjoy doing that are active, that keep me engaged.
You've really moved. Yes. I mean, you have expanded your activities. Yes. I mean, you've gotten into yoga. That's not anything I offer. You did that all on your own.
Right. Right.
And you've kind of found a community of people there that, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
And bike riding and walking and it just doesn't require blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
So
yeah,
a little bit of sweat, but
I'll tell you, it was watching you in the gym and starting to see what your body can do again without crushing yourself. Because what I always say is that you should be able to do this workout all over again if you had to, right? Like, we don't want you to be crushed. But watching you learn to push yourself in the beginning, it was tricky because you didn't know if this muscle burn was healthy or not healthy.
Right.
And oh my gosh, you just ran with that.
I think like a lot of ladies do, we have an unrealistic fear of the gym.
Yes. I did too. I'm a librarian. No. Yeah. No.
So, and it's okay. It's
Yeah,
really,
you have as
really
much
okay.
right to be there as anyone else, and yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's fun to know how to use the equipment. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like that whole expanding your comfort zone,
Right.
you know? So that's awesome. Okay, so do you feel like you will, after we're done working together, do you feel like you will be able to maintain all of these results, not just the body composition, but the blood sugar, the, managing Hashimoto's, your positive mindset? Do you feel like you'll be able to maintain this long term?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
talk about that.
I don't want to give up my peace and the way I feel. I just don't. I want that energy. I want that. I don't want the brain fog to come back. I don't want the clothes to get tight. Not that I'm obsessing over change. It's just no. I've worked really, really hard to get to where I'm at, and I want to keep it.
Right.
So,
well,
I'm
and
proud
the beautiful thing is the way that you eat now, you're not counting calories. This is just who you are. This is just how you eat now.
Right.
I mean, I've worked with you long enough to know this is
And there's
who
nothing
you are.
wrong with asking a restaurant, is there a gluten-free, do you have a gluten-free substitute?
Absolutely.
It's becoming more and more available.
Yep.
And the more people ask, the more they know that it's in demand.
The world is being taken over by annoying people. You might as well roll with it. No. I absolutely agree, but I do love the fact that you have continued to be social and to eat out, because being social is such a key predictor of our health outcomes. It's has a really big impact. And for those people who think if it's not grass-fed or organic or whatever, that, I've just got to stay home and eat within my little bubble. Well, A, that's not going to be a fun place to live, but B, you're not practicing being in the real world. Right? So then when you finish whatever length of plan, 30 days, 12 weeks, and then you reemerge from your cocoon, you don't have any skills to navigate this in the real world. And then all of a sudden you're, quote, off the wagon, even though there's no wagon, but you have not developed,
And I had to learn. I mean, I didn't want to change my life just because I wanted to lose weight and get rid of the brain fog and feel better. I still, and you can have it. You can have both.
Yep.
You just got to learn how to navigate through it. And like you said, practice in the real world so you're prepared in the real world.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, exactly. And that's, it makes everything in life better. But I would say, when you first came to me, you weren't really thinking so much about that you wanted your mindset to be shifted, right?
No.
That was a little bit of a sell.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That was a big sell.
Okay.
So, because I didn't understand the connection between mind and body at all.
Right.
And I didn't realize how important that was and how big of a puzzle piece that is to achieving your goal. Right.
And the notion that our bodies are doing their absolute best for us, given the inputs that we're giving them.
That was huge.
I mean, to me, that was a game changer for me as well. I know I lived so much of my life at war with this body. And I feel like that's how you came in as well. It's like grabbing body parts. I just want this gone. And our body hears that. As woo-woo as that sounds. And I feel like you were able to kind of suspend disbelief very quickly and say, okay, I'm willing to give this a try, do some journaling, go a little deeper. I mean, you've really done a lot of other things outside of, therapy and that kind of thing to really uncover some of those hidden stories that were maybe keeping you stuck.
Root cause of why I think and feel the way I do.
Right.
It's huge. Uncovering that and dealing with it and repacking.
And that's scary in the beginning.
I felt very, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
But
so with that's I'm glad that you said that, because it's a segue to me asking you, and I know this sounds a little cheesy, but to ask you if someone were to say, oh, I'm considering, talking to Lisa about working with her, how was that different? I'm not trying to feed you lines, but I do feel like one of the things that I do differently is offer that, you know, consistent support.
Absolutely.
So
When I met with you, I had a very good feeling. The fear factors were all there because of the previous fails and not knowing, but I was so desperate for change. And you just walked me through with baby steps, and that's what I needed. I needed to go back to square one, hear it like I'm hearing it for the first time, and you baby stepped me through it. And then the more I would grasp, the more you would give, and it just was very, very comfortable.
Good.
And I didn't think it was possible to be comfortable in that area of my life.
Yeah.
And you made it comfortable.
I'm so glad.
And you gave me the feeling of trust, and and I can trust you. I shared a ton of stuff with you, but just I didn't have to be afraid. And you didn't beat me up if I failed, if I was eating chocolate chips at 2 a.m. in the morning. You're like, well, okay, tomorrow's a new day, that kind of thing. You didn't beat me up over things that I didn't quite do right, and you praised me on things I did do right, and just held my hand through it, and I appreciate that.
That's awesome. And I appreciate you. I mean, that's the key, is someone being willing to stay engaged in the process, right? Because we're all going to have that feeling of, screw it, I just want to quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You've had a lot of things go on in your life this year, right? So you would have had some pretty legitimate, by the book reasons to exit stage left. And you haven't. No. You have stayed in the process, and we're going to tailor things to where your life is. When you were, having to eat hospital food, hospital cafeteria food, we're figuring all of those things out. Right. It doesn't have to be perfect. But again, one of the things that, again, I feel like you embraced was you knew that it was not in your interest, even in these stressful situations, to just go back to what you've been doing. Because that's what I used to do. Yeah. Oh, I just can't eat healthy right now because I have this thing going on. And then you tank yourself. Right. So then you don't have the resources to,
that's where Power in the Pause was huge for me, because I absolutely wanted to just get that burger and fries and go back up to the hospital room and sit with my
Shannon. That's the first time you're telling me this.
But
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, but no, because what's that going to do? How is that helping me in 2 hours? How is that helping me tomorrow? Right. That's hurting everything I've worked for, and I'm not going to eat healthy and then blow it on that and have to go back through and do what I've been trying, retrain myself. Right. Just Power in the Pause.
That's awesome. So you didn't have anyone to rebel against? No. Right? Because I'm not going to shame you. No. I mean, not that I ever would. No. But I don't.
But that's what I expected in the beginning, and that was what was so awesome with you, is you didn't. You just told me, I've been down this road too, and I totally get it. Yeah. And you just do the best you can, even if it's just to get through the next meal. Right. Just do the best you can.
Right. Right. And I do. I feel like, just in general, not just in a coaching relationship, but in general, the more we can kind of be more open and vulnerable with one another. So many of us are working through the same challenges or very similar challenges. And we sort of play our cards so close to the vest that we think everyone else, well, they've got it all figured out or whatever. And it's like, no, we're all just doing our best. Right. And we need each other. Yes. Right? Yes. And we need to be open and communicate. And that's why I've tried to set up my coaching. I don't take on very many clients at a time.
And that was huge for me, because in the beginning it was pretty intense as far as our communication. Yeah. Because I had a lot of questions and I wanted to know a lot of things. Yeah.
And I told you in the beginning that you would. Yes. And so I'm prepared for that. Yeah. And I want that, because that tells me that you want to know, okay, why are you recommending I don't eat gluten? Because I have Hashimoto's, right? Right.
Right.
So
how is milk gonna affect me? I don't understand.
right.
Why do I need to take the supplement? Why
Mhm.
why can't I get it in my salad?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's being willing to stay engaged even when things, I mean, life happens.
and it's
that's
going
the
to.
key.
There's
It
no
is.
you know, if you're waiting to start when things settle down or after the holidays, or there's
Mhm.
always
Yeah.
there's always a party, there's always a social event, there's
Mhm.
always dysfunction around the corner that you're going to have to work through
Mhm.
with somebody. I
Right.
mean, because we're all messy and
Yeah.
we're all imperfect,
Yeah.
and that's just the way life is.
Right.
So
Right.
I just decided now or never. I mean, now or never. And once I set my mind to it, I stuck with it, and I'm so thankful that I did.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's been a joy working with you because, again, you clearly have owned your big why, and you are, it is important to get some positive feedback in the beginning,
Yeah,
right? It is
right.
important to
Absolutely.
see, okay, this is a thing
Mhm.
that actually works. Even though I'm not starving myself, I can get some results, and that helps build that momentum. But, you have really elevated your view. When you say there's dysfunction around every corner, what I know about you now, though, is that you are so much better able to navigate through that stuff and say, okay, this is mine, this is not mine.
Right.
And I'm sailing on past Crazy Town. And that's what I've seen with you, is whereas before you would have just parked right there and
got on the train and taken a ride with them.
Yeah, and taken on everybody else's stress
Right.
because you're a very empathetic person.
And one of the things that I learned early in the game, and that you have kept influencing, is it's okay. It's necessary for me to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to get in line to do that.
Mhm.
And if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you have a very supportive husband.
Yes.
That said, it's our job to make sure that we take care of ourselves, right?
Because he's not going to hold me back if I go make a half gallon of ice cream and a quart of hot fudge.
Right.
You know?
And then he bears the brunt. I mean, that's another point that I think is so important, is not only do we deserve to feel better, everybody kind of in our line of sight is going to benefit, right? Would you not argue that your husband's life is better now?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're probably a lot happier.
Absolutely.
And fun to be around. And
when I'm happy, he's happy.
Right.
I mean, it just flows better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And isn't that the goal? Don't we all
That's
just want to get along and be happy
and not be obsessed with food?
Yeah.
And body, right? To move this into the lane it deserves.
Yeah.
In our life. And okay, this is just how I eat now. Now I can focus on all
the
these
real
other
joys.
Yes. And you're not always having that kind of black cloud hanging over you. So, okay, well, that is awesome. Is there anything else that, we didn't cover that you'd like to chat about that you feel, would be helpful, to anybody just starting out or considering just launching into something? Or
I mean, if anyone has questions, I'm not anything above anybody else. I've done what you've told me to do, and it's worked.
Yeah.
And
you're such an inspiration. You sell yourself short, though.
Well,
I mean, you really are. Like, you're amazing.
Well, I appreciate it. And
yeah.
You've helped me find the best version of myself.
That's
and
awesome.
I appreciate that.
That's awesome. So, and it's a feed forward loop, that's what's fun. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and share this with people that might be thinking nothing works. I've tried everything, nothing works. I have autoimmune disease, I have excess weight, I have brain fog, whatever, forget it. Nothing works. I've tried it all,
Don't give
so
up.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a spider on you. I think that's a good place to stop. All right. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that gone?
I think.
Okay.
Oh, he's right here. He's under my chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy I don't have spiders.